Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beulah Thomas. It's been 14 years this week since I moved out of the United States and relocated to live here in Wellington, New Zealand. I thought in today's video I'll share my experience of living here, and I think this video might be helpful to anyone who's currently considering moving to New Zealand to study or to work. Or if you are a woman or a mom like me, perhaps you're considering if it's worth the move. So I really hope this video will help you out a little bit. Before I get into this video, I must say that I'm not an immigration expert. I cannot provide any legal advice. So if you are currently in the process of moving here, and if you got any questions, head on straight to the immigration website. You'll see the link on the screen, and I'll also include it in the description box. Get onto the immigration website of New Zealand and you will find all the information that you need to know to move here legally to New Zealand. There are 5 things that come to my mind when I think of what is awesome about living here in New Zealand. The first thing is the outdoor lifestyle. So I'm talking about the beaches, the mountains, the countryside, and also outdoor activities like walking or trekking, glamping, camping, and the waterfronts in the cities. There's so many things that you can explore no matter which city or which island that you land in here in New Zealand. You won't get to see this entire country in a week or two, so if you end up here in New Zealand for a work contract, make the time to explore the city that you live in, because you'd be really surprised to see that every little town, every little city here in New Zealand has something that you can go and see and explore and experience. So make use of the weekends when you are here for a short-term work contract. While it is a really small country, New Zealand is actually quite long, and there's also 2 islands. So whether you end up in the North Island or South Island, there's always something for you to see and also to do. And for you to head out to just the outskirts of the city that you live in, you'll end up at a beach, or you might end up on this amazing walking track. And there's so many things that you can do without spending a whole lot of money. So if you end up in the North Island, don't feel that you're missing out. Or in the same way, if you end up in the South Island, don't feel that you're missing out from seeing the North Island, because both of the islands has various things that you can do and see and experience the amazing outdoor lifestyle that this country has to offer. The second thing that comes to mind is the people of New Zealand. When I moved here, it was 2010, so 14 years ago, and people were really welcoming and friendly. There was a genuine interest to get to know who you are, where you're from, what kind of food you ate, what kind of culture you came from. Initially, I actually found it strange because I had moved from the United States, where the country is so big, there's so many people are really busy, people don't really have a whole lot of time to catch up with you. And then I was born and raised in Kuwait, which has a pretty similar culture and lifestyle as well. So it was really strange, and I have to be honest when I say that people took the time to get to know who we are and wanted to get to know us, and they showed interest to see if they can learn something from us, or stuff like that. So it was really nice to see how people are welcoming. However, in the recent years, there's a lot of migrants coming through, and I'm not sure if they would say the same thing. I mean, from the people that I've met, they've always found it really welcoming in the recent couple of years. So probably it's still the same. New Zealand is probably still extremely friendly when you compare it to other countries. And every time we think or we've thought of, relocating to another country, the one thing that stops us from progressing further is the people. Like, we always say, would we find the same friendly culture in any other country in the world? And that's one point that has stopped us from moving over the years. And so I would definitely say the second thing that comes to mind are the people of New Zealand. You will feel welcome and you will feel at home, and it's just really nice that when you just walk down the street that people just say hi or they smile. Your neighbors, they want to get to know who you are. If you have children and they've got kids, they would love to make that connection, so our kids can play together and stuff like that. So definitely the second thing of moving here and living here and calling New Zealand home are the people in this country. The third thing is that New Zealand is a great place to raise a family. So if you've been on YouTube trying to search up, moving to New Zealand, is New Zealand safe and all of that, and if you are a parent or parent-to-be and you're wondering if this is the right move, I'm here to say that New Zealand is definitely a great place to raise a family. I've lived here for 14 years, and a few years I was not a parent, and then of course now we have 2 kids, and overall I definitely do say that Yes, it is safe. Of course, there's crime that's there in every country, in every city, and when stuff like that happens, they do sort of like do communicate and things like that. But overall, I do feel comfortable when I'm going out early in the morning, when it might still be dark, going to the gym. I feel safe driving there, I feel safe parking and walking in to the gym, even if it's pitch black. And similarly for our kids going to school, whether they're in our suburb or if they're in another suburb for extracurricular activities, the general sense of peace and calm is always there. You're not panicking about your children's safety or general security. There are playgrounds in every suburb, which is fantastic. If you're a parent and you want to take your kids out for some fun, which is free, and they're also well maintained, which is great. You'll find cafes, you'll find little music groups for under 5-year-olds here in a lot of suburbs, and you'll find coffee catch-up groups and things like that. There are libraries very easily accessible. So in the suburb that we live in, there's no library, but there are libraries in the suburbs right next to us on either side. So we can take our kids there. There are swimming pool facilities which are well maintained, and there's so many different options for you to take yourself or your kids to, so they can have fun after school or over the weekend. So there's so many opportunities for you to have a great time as a family, no matter what the ages of your children are. New Zealand also has the best coffee, so you will find an amazing cafe culture here, and these cafes are so accommodating. So if you have children, you will find so many different cafes that are kid friendly, and also if you are a pet owner, you will find cafes which are dog friendly as well. I do know that there's a cat friendly cafe too, so they're open, and the culture is just amazing here. So you'll definitely have a great time, and you'll have a great work-life balance here in New Zealand if you are a parent. Depending on the size of your suburb, you'll also have a supermarket. We've got a supermarket in our suburb. The suburb next to us actually has a couple of them. If you don't have a supermarket, you're bound to have a dairy, which is walkable, and you'll be able to find your essentials like bread or eggs or milk and stuff like that. So you have options all around where you are. Before we move on to the next point, I just want to say a big hello and welcome to all of my newest subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Every time you give a video a like, or if you leave me a comment, that is definitely not just helping my channel, but also definitely encouraging me to post more videos in spite of how crazy and busy my life might be right now. So thank you so much for doing that. If you just landed on this video due to your YouTube search, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before this video ends. And if you've been enjoying this video, also don't forget to give this video a like. The fourth thing is the free healthcare services provided to our children. I'm an ex-NICU mom, and every time I share our story about how our son was born early and he had to end up staying in the unit at Wellington Hospital for a few weeks, they're always surprised because we went through that entire stressful season not paying anything, and the support that we were offered at that time was just phenomenal. One of the first things that you do when you find out that you are expecting a baby is to find a midwife. Again, a service that you don't pay for. And it's just incredible to have that support from the time that you find out, you've conceived, all the way to the time you get into the hospital to have your baby, whether it's a normal birth or it's a cesarean. That midwife is there supporting you, and then also of course supporting you even after the baby has arrived for a few more weeks. There's also free dental care for our kids right up till the age of 18, which is great because they follow up as well sometimes if you've not called and you've forgotten in your busy schedule as a parent. They'll just kind of make sure that your kids get their teeth checked. Visits to your GP or general physician for your children are free. Of course, adults have to pay, and again, that rate will depend based on where you're located and which medical center you go to. We travel overseas once a year or every other year to see our family, and one of the habits that I have as a parent is to get medication prescribed and dispensed to us while we are here in New Zealand, so that when we are overseas, we're not stuck with different medications medications that, you know, we are not familiar with or our children's body can't accept and all of that. So what I do is right before we go, I go to our GP and get the medication, like, you know, basic painkillers or fever relief and stuff like that, dispensed into 100 mils. So it's easy for me to carry it in our, you know, carry-on, just in case, you know, there's some sort of a medical emergency that where we need some, you know, Panadol or something while we're flying and stuff like that. So when I do that, I'm not paying, you know, money and stuff. Of course, which if there are specialized medications, you do pay a little bit of a fee. So I'm not going to get into details, but overall, I don't have any memory of paying significant amount of money every time I go to the GP to get a script for my kids. There's also a service to clean your ears called the ear van, and it's just amazing free service where you can take your kids to get their ears checked and, you know, wax removed and all of that. You do have to pay for specialized medical appointments or even eye appointments or surgeries and things like that. Again, it depends from case to case, so it's always really good to explore health insurance options here in New Zealand. Number 5, sports is big. It's definitely a huge part of the Kiwi culture. The top 3 are, of course, rugby, cricket, netball. You do have other options like soccer or tennis or pickleball or golfing. So many different options. There are many more reasons as to why New Zealand is a great place to live. If you're currently thinking about changing the way that you live, having a better work-life balance, a relaxed lifestyle, whatever your reason might be, if you just want to change how it is right now, then head on over to the New Zealand immigration website and see what the New Zealand government currently offers for you to come and live here. Maybe even consider coming here for a holiday and explore this country over a couple of weeks and then make your decision. If you're looking for more videos on New Zealand, do check out my other videos and I'll pop those in the description box as well. I'll see you all soon with another video. Bye everybody!